Hey everybody, Mobile Gamers Unite. And it's kind of dark out right now, and that's got to tell you about how long it took me today just to get to Wiler, because I actually did want to run him, play with him a few times before I really made a review about him as a healer, because the truth is he has some major competition in this game. We're talking Tierras and we're talking Liana, okay? The good news is, my opinion is he can hang with them, definitely. The reason I think that a lot of people aren't very excited about this character right now, and you hear everybody trying to pull for the other character, is because, well, simply put, the other character is a fusion buffer that, is a new fusion that gets rid of cooldowns. So, yeah, there's reasons why people are going to want Gizaroff. Most people have an SSR healer. They either have Tierras or Liana. They've went out of their way to get one of them because of how important they are. But let me tell you something. There are new players that join this game all the time, and one of those new players is my buddy. He's in my guild, and he asked me, he said, hey, which healer should I get? And I asked him what he's trying to run, and he's trying to run a Yles team. So I said, hey, why don't you get Wiler? He's going to be on the banner in a couple of days. And yeah, he pulled him today, and he's extremely happy with him. If I had to compare Wiler to one of the other heroes, I would have to say he is closer to Liana, because her Act Again ability and his teleport ability can kind of be comparable, because they're useful no matter what party they're in, right? Those abilities are going to be useful whether, it doesn't matter what faction it is, it doesn't matter what group of characters you have together. You can teleport them no matter who they are, and you can cast Act Again on any character you want. So they have that in common. They have a very niche move, alright? But Wiler here, he does get to, first of all, let's just look at how I got him set up. I do want a different headpiece on him, because if you think about how this guy works, he's going to teleport everybody to him, and then heal them, and then end his turn. That's why I would want like the Sage's hat or something, because when he teleports everybody to him, there's going to be somebody next to him and he can give them a buff. So I also like the Goddess tier, because again, he teleports everybody to him. This will help him dispel some debuffs from people around him. So other than that, I have Oliver's staff on him for the debuff in case he has to attack somebody. But you really don't want to do that. This guy has very fragile stats. You want to keep him away. His tactical genius is his talent. When using a support skill, range increased by 1. They're already giving you that +1 range. Well, for two reasons. Because this guy's squishy and he needs to stay away from battle. And the second reason is it lets you, that teleport ability that he has, it's a support skill. So effectively, tactical retreat, it lets you teleport somebody from one block further away, which makes sense. It's what you want, okay? All soldiers' stats increase by 5% when a hero dies. Dispels 2 debuffs on all allies within 3 blocks and gain Desperate Prayer. Before fighting, restores hit points equal to 5 times Wiler's intelligence for 1 turn. And that, I believe, goes up to 3 turns. So you can use that to cheese some content. That is like a super buff. Not buff, but that is some super healing for your team. This guy is easy to sacrifice. Look at his stats. C. He has 1 S stat, and that's intelligence, and that's just so he can heal. Everything else is a C, and there's 1 D for his skill. So you're talking about pretty much a C stat character when it comes to any sort of defense. So it's easy to sacrifice him for this big payoff at the very end, or whenever you want to activate that. But, even without sacrificing him, he can do all these nifty things. He has Dispel, which I've always liked Dispel, because it gets rid of 3 debuffs, and it does some healing. For his 1-point skill, Strengthen is just fine. Units attack and intelligence increased by 20%. Great. Grants immunity to attack and intelligence reductions and effects that silence active skills for 2 turns at a time. And this has a 1-round cooldown. So you can move Strengthen around to whoever is going to be more effective with it for that turn. You can dispel things. This is his basic setup too. Obviously, he has an AoE heal. He also has defense support. Okay, we all know what that does. And let's see. The other things he can possibly get, I think he does have one other unique ability. It's under Priest. Regroup. Activate to cause one soldier who has already performed their action and died to perform this action again, while also healing for 5 times the caster's intelligence. That is a playmaker move right there. You can do some stuff with that, okay? Because you're making a soldier that already did something and died do it again. So you can have somebody go on, take a suicide swing on somebody, and yeah, they're going to die, but they're probably going to do a lot of damage to that enemy too, maybe kill off a lot of their troops. And then you can activate that unit again that died, and he gets to do that attack again. But this time the enemy's probably weaker because some of his troops are missing from the first attack. So this can be very, very nifty. It has... it's a 2-turn cooldown. It is a single... It's a single target, and it's 4 blocks. So for him, that's 5 blocks. So, if somebody dies 5 blocks away from him, you can tag them with this, and they get to double up on their attack. That is very useful, I think, and that we'll definitely find some application for that. I will spend the runestone on this guy. This is my main account, and I don't have many runestones to go around. I'm building a lot of stuff right now, but man, I might just get that because this guy is very tactical. I mean, tacticals and half the name of all his crap is tactical this and tactical retreat, and so yeah, it's really cool. I'm digging it. I like what they did with him. He also has mass attack. Increases attack and intelligence by 20%, and the important part is grants immunity to attack and intelligence reductions and affects that silence active skills. That's kind of what's important to me. But this is going to cost you 2 of your skill slots instead of 1. The other thing you get for profit is Last Stand, and this, I think, when unit HP is lower than 50%, when entering battle, defense and magic defense increases by 10%. I think they just put this in there because they were like, yeah, he's good enough, just fill that with something. Jeez. Alright, and then general, endure, when entering battle, defense increased by 7%. This is pretty much the stuff to try to make this guy survive. I don't know, maybe they could add something to general and fill it out and make him some sort of Lancer tank in the future that can somewhat heal and teleport. I don't know. Probably not. That is probably never going to happen. But hey, there is a way to make him a Lancer. For what it's worth, I don't think it's going to be worth much to you, because you're just going to want to run this guy away. And also use this teleport as much as you can. And that's really where he's going to shine. But the one teleport is a 5-turn cooldown. What is regroup? Yeah, it's a 2-turn cooldown. And then in between, then he can do some healing for you. So just because of the mechanic that he brings, and he can bank off of strategist buffs, and he can bank off of the Yles buff. So really good at retrieving Landius and a party of his that went out on the offensive. And I think that's really where this guy shines. So a lot of people are probably going to be using him for PvP in the future. Alright, and I am not done with him yet. I'm going to class him up. His soldiers are pretty solid. I would just go with Shrine Maidens personally. The Highland Warriors are alright too in case you get attacked, but it depends. For Guild Wars, I'll run Highland Warriors, but for a boss or something like that, I think Shrine Maidens can help this guy survive if he has to survive something, which you don't want him to do. And as far as equipment, like I said, I'm going to put healing runes on him, obviously, because I want him to heal as much as possible when he teleports everybody back. And an item like the Dark Robe is going to help him try to survive like a ranged attack. And I think that's what he's prone to getting hit with. And this guy's easy to snipe. Remember, he's a C-stat character because of how nifty his ability is, right? So Oliver's staff is just on him because it increases his healing. I really don't plan on triggering the Ancient Sage level 2 debuff on people because this guy has to get into battle to do that. So I mean, just whatever staff you can put on him that has healing effects. The tiara I would like to swap out because I believe that this guy should have a headpiece that grants buffs to other heroes. So when he teleports somebody in, he'll put Sage Hat on somebody, and that is also why I have the Goddess tier on him. That way he can debuff. I think that'll help this character. If he doesn't have Dispel with him, if you brought that AoE heal that just gets rid of one debuff and your characters have more than one debuffs on them, Goddess tier will help you take away some of those other ones. So I'm pretty much going to just kind of keep this for him and see what it does for him. But I do need to power him up. And I think he's an awesome character. He's a great choice for a healer. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't screw the pooch on another healer because this is important, right? We have 3 SSR healers in this game. So the ones that we've had, they've done the job for a while now, and they're doing a good job. So I really wanted to see where this guy stands. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's really fair. I think they've taken a fair approach to this guy. They made him unique and different, and a lot of players are going to have fun running this healer. I can totally see why some people would definitely use him for PvP. He looks cool. Maybe we'll get some cool skins for him down the line. All right, but hey, again, if you didn't pick this guy up, if you have a dedicated healer, it's no big deal, okay? Because, I mean, most of us are just busy working on the healers that we already have. But I decided to put a little bit into this character just so I could really use him if I wanted to for the teleport. I really like the whole retrieving thing. And really, Angelina gets a move where she gets to switch places with people. I don't think I have it, but I love mechanics like that because I've seen Angelina. Yeah, I don't have it, but my guildie who has the strongest Angelina on this server, and I've done a video on her before, he constantly uses her to give movement, and I absolutely love that because she can give movement to whoever. She can move your tank along a couple more blocks if she wants, and then she trades places with them, and then she walks in front of them again. And that can be so useful and so helpful, and that's only one block. Listen, this guy can teleport you far. It's like 5-6 blocks, something like that, right? So pretty much while you're fighting an enemy, you can have him start running off into another direction to where you want to go, right? He doesn't have to teleport you back necessarily. He can also teleport you forward to where you want to be in a way. He just has to get there first, and he's fragile. So that's going to be the key with him. He does favor skill-based play, but he can get you there, and not only you, he can get your whole party there. He can teleport you over terrain where your enemy has to cross that terrain to get to you. So this guy can he can pull off some crazy stuff with terrain. And also, you can throw out a more robust offensive, right? Because you don't have to worry about where you're going to end up after you attack now. Instead of just attacking with a few people and moving them back so that only 1 or 2 of the enemy can reach you or whatever. No, you can just go ahead and attack with everybody, even if they would end up in a vulnerable position after they were done attacking. And now you don't have to worry about that because you're just going to get teleported back. So I think that really, really opens up a lot for an ambush style party, and I think that's why people are going to want to take him to PvP as well. But with PvE, it works even better because you can move your whole team up there, have them get their attacks, and as long as they take some damage and they survive, as long as their hit points isn't 100%, he will teleport all of them back to him. So he can get characters out of a threat zone. So that's really important for him, and I think it does a lot for him. He's going to let your whole party go up there and attack without holding back at all, because they don't have to worry about the consequences afterwards of where they stand. You're pretty much guaranteed to end up somewhere good where you're out of harm's reach, especially if you can get some terrain between you and the enemy. So that is why, even though I have both of the other healers, and I am working on both of them, like my Tiaris is my strongest, and then, of course, Liana, I had to get her to a couple thousand just to use her Act Again ability, because it's so nice to have. I feel the same way about this guy. Even for me, it was worth it for me to get him to 3,500. I'm going to try to get him to about 4. And eventually, yeah, I will probably put 1 runestone into him. That is what I suggest doing while I had this screen going. I would suggest going all the way down the path that I went to, and then just spending the 1 runestone to get that, what is that ability called? Retreat? It was the one that we were talking about for the 1 skill point. I forgot to go through that while I had it open. But yeah, this is pretty much, I mean, this guy's only going to cost you 1 runestone to be super effective. Honestly, he can be effective with no runestones. Just from getting Tactician, you're going to get this teleport ability. Just use it wisely. And you're going to get an AoE heal, right? And you're going to get a buff, a strengthen. So that's cool. You put that on whoever's going to do the most with it that turn. I would spend the 1 point on Priest to get regroup. This is a unique ability. And I think if you learn how to play with this, it can be very, very, very important, and it can be a game changer. That's just my opinion, though. And that's only going to cost you 1 runestone. I don't think you need to go all the way down to Prophet, because all it's going to do is give you a mass attack. Instead of running around with a mass attack, I would rather be running around with a teleport. In general, I just wouldn't get. So, for 1 runestone, he can do a lot. And even without that runestone, you're going to be able to teleport with him and do all that fun, nifty stuff. I've pretty much went over his gear. But this is how I feel about this character. He is extremely powerful. He is. Anybody that gets him, thank your lucky stars. Do not get, don't think this guy is under par at all whatsoever. He just happens to be on a banner where everybody wants the other character because they kind of already have a healer. And don't get me wrong, nobody would mind having this guy. They would just prefer to pull the other hero right now because he's a fusion buffer for a new fusion that other interesting characters are on and does nifty stuff. But this character is, he's just as good as Gizaroth. I can see why they both put them on the same banner. Even to the point where, hey, like I said, look, the proof's in the pudding. I'm powering this guy up. For a lot of people, he is sitting on the bench right now. But I am powering him up even though I have other healers, and I'm not even done with them. So, but hey, that's what I do. But Mobile Gamers Unite, thank you for taking the time, ladies and gentlemen. It's late. I'm going to go, I think the server reset already. I'm going to go do some dragon runs and then hit the hate. But everybody have a good night. I just wanted to put something out. I wanted to put something out on this character the first day. Technically, I try to do that, but it's taken me a while today to play with Wiler and really see what he's about, because I also had to see what was going on with Santa Claus, Gizaroth. So it's been a long day, and I'm glad you guys made it through with me. Thank you for all the support. Hit like, hit subscribe. You guys have an awesome day. Peace.